Hi everyone. Okay, something a bit different for you today. This is one for the children. Some Banjo Paterson poems, which I just love. He's my favourite Australian poet, absolutely. He's the guy who wrote the words to Waltzing Matilda. And kids, this is an old-fashioned cap, mott cap. Hope you like it.
Buddy, you're in the way.
Buddy, you're in the way as usual. Okay. Clancy of the Overflow. I had written him a letter, which I had, for want of better, knowledge sent it to where I met him down the Lachlan years ago. He was shearing when I knew him, so I sent the letter to him, just on spec, addressed as follows: Clancy of the Overflow. And an answer came directed in a writing unexpected, and I think the same was written with a thumbnail dipped in tar. 'Twas his shearing mate who wrote it, and verbatim I will quote it. Clancy's gone to Queensland shearing and we don't know where he are. In my wild erratic fancy visions come to me of Clancy, gone a droving down the Cooper where the western drovers go. As the stock are slowly stringing, Clancy rides behind them singing, for the drover's life has pleasures that the townsfolk never know. And the bush has friends to meet him, and their kindly voices greet him, and the murmur of the breezes and the river on its bars. And he sees the vision splendid of the sunlit plains extended, and at night the wondrous glory of the everlasting stars. I am sitting in my dingy little office where a stingy ray of sunlight struggles feebly down between the houses tall, and the fetid air and gritty of the dusty, dirty city through the open window floating spreads its foulness over all. And in place of lowing cattle, I can hear the fiendish rattle of the tramways and the buses making hurry down the street, and the language uninviting of the gutter children fighting comes fitfully and faintly through the ceaseless tramp of feet. And the hurrying people daunt me, and their pallid faces haunt me, as they shoulder one another in their rush and nervous haste, with their eager eyes and greedy, and their stunted forms and weedy, for townsfolk have no time to grow, they have no time to waste. And I somehow rather fancy that I'd like to change with Clancy, like to take a turn at droving where the seasons come and go, while he faced the round eternal of the cash book and the journal. But I doubt he'd suit the office, Clancy of the Overflow. How good, another one. This was my all-time favourite when I was about 10, because you're allowed to swear halfway through it and your teacher just couldn't tell you off for it. It's the man from Ironbark. It was the man from Ironbark who struck the Sydney town. He wandered over street and park, he wandered up and down. He loitered here and loitered there till he was like to drop, until at last in sheer despair he sought a barber's shop. "Here, shave my beard and whiskers off, I'll be a man of mark. I'll go and do the Sydney toff up home in Ironbark." The barber man was small and flash, as barbers mostly are. He wore a strike-your-fancy sash and he smoked a huge cigar. He was a humorist of note and keen at repartee. He laid the odds and kept a tote, whatever that may be. And when he saw our friend arrive, he whispered, "Here's a lark. Just watch me catch him in alive, this man from Ironbark." There were some gilded youths that sat along the barber's wall. Their eyes were dull, their heads were flat, they had no brains at all. To them the barber passed the wink, his dexter eyelid shut. "I'll make this bloomin' yokel think his bloomin' throat is cut." And as he soaked and rubbed it in, he made a rude remark. "I suppose them flats is pretty green up there in Ironbark." A grunt was all reply he got. He shaved the bushman's chin, then made the water boiling hot and dipped the razor in. He raised his hand, his brow grew black. He paused a while to gloat, then slashed the red-hot razor back across his victim's throat. Upon the newly shaven skin it made a livid mark. No doubt it fairly took him in, that man from Ironbark. He fetched a wild up-country yell might wake the dead to hear, and though his throat he knew full well was cut from ear to ear, he struggled gamely to his feet and faced the murderous foe. "You've done for me, you dog, I'm beat. One one hit before I go. I only wish I had an eye for you blessed murdering shark, but you'll remember all your life the man from Ironbark. He lifted up his hairy paw, and with one tremendous clout, it landed on the barber's jaw and knocked the barber out. He set to work with nail and tooth, he made the place a wreck. He grabbed the nearest gilded youth and tried to break his neck, but all the while his throat he held to save his vital spark. And murder, bloody murder, yelled the man from Ironbark. A peeler man who heard the din came in to see the show. He tried to run the bushman in, but he refused to go. And when at last the barber spoke, he said, "'Twas all in fun, 'twas just a little harmless joke, a trifle overdone." "A joke?" he cried. "By George, that's fine, a lively sort of lark. I'd like to catch that murdering swine some night in Ironbark." And now, while around the shearing floor the listening shearers gape, he tells his story o'er and o'er and brags of his escape. "Them barber chap what keeps a tote, by George, I've had enough. One tried to cut me bloomin' throat, but thank the Lord it's tough." And whether he's believed or no, there's one thing to remark, that flowing beards are all the go way up in Ironbark. And if you like that, I'll do another one another time.